Welcome back, guys, to the MLG stream covering IEM New York. We're here just under a mile away from the convention center where everything's happening. Alex has been replacing Marcus over here. Of course, Marcus, also known as a Giant Smurf, has done all of our observing throughout WCS when we did that. Also does a lot of casting for various streams. If people want to see more of your casting, where can they find you?
I guess here.
Here?
I mean, this has been my
your home?
my new temporary kind of home.
It's a good home. It's a good home.
These guys at MLG, they're all nice. They give me opportunities, so I try to take advantage when I can.
That's good.
But yeah. So what do you think about the game so far, man? It's been pretty exciting.
Yeah, I actually, that last QXC game was really exciting. It was pretty crazily back and forth. Hero just had better kind of composure throughout it. It felt like. Yeah. You know, QXC really, he wasn't able to deal with the Templar in that game. It's pretty much what it came down to. There was so many storms on the Vikings that softened him up, and it's a big difference when the Tempest, shoot a volley and you lose maybe one Viking, or if they're all in the red, so you lose like 4 or 5 every volley. All of a sudden it starts, it starts getting pretty ugly. But our next match is going to be the elimination match between QXC and Hack. Of course, Hack lost to Nanoa, and on this stream we just saw QXC lose to Hero. So the winner of this match gets to go on and play tomorrow morning to see if they can make it to the playoff stage. But the loser will be eliminated from IEM New York. So it's a very big match. QXC versus Hack. What do you know about these players?
QXC, one of my teammates. I know he's a very hard-working player. He definitely takes STARCRAFT seriously. I mean, anytime, we have our Skype group, and anytime someone questions, the validity of STARCRAFT, he's like, "Yo, man, this is my profession. This is what I live for." So, I'm rooting for QXC. I know he's hard-working. He deserves it. So, we'll have to see.
And about QXC, that last game, he did look very good. Yes, he lost it, but playing like 44 minutes, something like that, playing the game that long against a player of Liquid Heroes caliber is super impressive. So we're switching gears now onto a TVT, which I think is the first TVT we've seen this entire tournament on the stream, at least. Yeah, we didn't have any yesterday. This is our first one today. Of course, this tournament is a little bit lighter on the Terran players. So we're going to have to take maximum enjoyment from this TVT because there may not be too many more in the future in this tournament. It's one of my favorite matchups. The first map is going to be Polar Night.
And here we go. Spawning to the bottom right corner, we have the blue Terran representing Startail. It is Hack. And to the top left, representing the North American team Complexity, it is QXC.
Now, one of the interesting parts about Polar Night is, at least to me, is I think kind of this back base right here. Where, of course, it seems like a safe base, but it's not easy to get to until you kill the rocks for a natural. But it could also, this whole zone right here, if you think about TVT, if you're able to get siege tanks here and you have air control, of course, you can just shut down your opponent's natural without having to go straight into front door. So there's a lot of options for, I think, kind of 1 or 2 base early Marine tank Viking, slash Banshee type plays. But of course, a lot of that revolves around being able to cross the map, having a stronger army at the right time, and then most importantly, that air control. So air control always a big part of TVT, but perhaps on this map even more so. And both players going for gas first opening, so they both really want to tech straight up to factories as soon as possible.
Yeah, for sure. We are going to be seeing a factory. The question is it going to be something like a quick Banshee? Will we be seeing the fast siege tank so we can see one of these players take advantage of these cliff positions that you mentioned earlier? Very interesting barracks placement over here by QXC. This does lead me to believe it kind of hints at a starport to me because, he wants to close that air distance. Looking over at Hack, on the other hand, he is building the barracks at his ramp. We still probably going to be seeing a factory out of him.
Yeah, it's just Hack's barracks is more roll off in case my opponent's doing something crazy. And in QXC, he's saying, I'm just going to scout to check for those possibilities. But I really want to get that starport. Of course, he wants to build either tech lab or most likely a tech lab for it using the barracks. So he wants to make sure that's as close to his opponent's base as possible. Now, both players are sending these SCVs out. They're both going to soon identify the fast gas from each of them. And here comes the factory from Hack and, of course, QXC. Both players not missing a beat with building those structures. And QXC's earlier scout may give him an advantage as he knows exactly what Hack is doing. Now he's trapped in the base here, but Canada's Marine? No, I don't. I think Hack's gonna just barely get into base and see everything before the Marine pops out.
Yeah, there goes. Hack does spot the factory, but does he see the add-on on the barracks? No, he does not. He actually did not see the barracks at all. Will the SCV be able to sneak around? Yes, it will. It is going to see the tech lab. So Hack can have a pretty good idea of what QXC is up to. QXC, on the other hand, did not see any add-ons. Of course, Hack does not have any add-ons, but he is grabbing a second gas.
It's interesting. Both players, they showed one gas to their opponent, and as soon as SCVs died, we saw a difference, whereas QXC immediately added in a second gas as soon as Hack's Scouting Worker was taken out, whereas Hack is staying on one gas. So that allows him to either get more Marines, more Hellions, or faster command center, whereas QXC will have a little more gas at his disposal. He could invest in that cloak tech for his Banshees.
Yeah, and we do have a little bit of a hesitated decision-making on the part of Hack. He did start the second gas in his base, but then he decided to cancel it. So he is producing some Hellions and Marines. This does mean, since he's on the one gas, it's probably going to be some kind of Marine Hellion medevac aggression. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we do see the Banshee on the way for QXC. Will he be going for that cloak? I believe so. He does have the two gases, and there it is. Cloak research. So
it's going to be a Hellion Marine medevac pressure from Hack, and if QXC can hold this off, the Cloak Banshee is going to have a very strong counterattack. Remember, Hack doesn't have a second command center, so he only has one command center to use scans. He doesn't even have an E-base started yet, so turrets are a little ways away, but QXC doesn't have too many units in his base. He only has a few Marines here getting to Widowmine as well. The first Banshee is probably going to be sent around the map. Actually, no, he's queuing it straight across the map. Without the Banshee on defense, this draw play from Hack could be problematic.
Yeah, for sure. But Hack is getting that engineering bay. It will be finished with plenty of time to spare before Cloak is complete. We do see Hack loading up his medevac, and they're actually going to miss each other, medevac and the Banshee. So neither player is aware of the harass headed in their direction. QXC burrows a Widow Mine, but it is nowhere near where this drop is taking place.
Unfortunately not. There's only 5 Marines from QXC. He's going to have to reposition the Widow Mines. He's going to have to pull SCVs. Here come the SCVs. He's going to attack right now. With the SCVs tanking, is he going to have enough? No, the Hellions trying to line up good shots. And QXC is getting destroyed here. Hack's drop is absolutely... Oh, look at that. Using the medevac to kind of dodge the Widow Mine shot. Meanwhile, Canada's Banshee... Oh, no, there's a Viking and a turret. Hack is more than ready for QXC's counter. And QXC is taking definitive damage here, whereas Hack is taking just about none.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. I did notice a little bit of hesitated decision-making on the part of QXC. He was kind of iffy on what he wanted to do with the Banshee. 1 second, he pulled it back to bring it back home, and then he decided instead to go through with the harass. So now we have this Banshee. It's not really being used. It's being chased by this Viking. But these units are still in QXC's base, killing all sorts of stuff. And Hack, very brilliant micro in his part.
Oh,
going to be loading up, saving that Hellion before the Banshee is able to pick it off.
Oh, that SCV's red lineup is going to drop the Hellion for another shot. No, but he does have a Viking. If this Banshee may be doomed if it runs out of energy here. Oh, Viking's going to land, actually. That means the Banshee has advantage now. It's actually going to take out the Viking. Nicely done by QXC there, but he's taking so much economic damage behind us. I mean, Workers kills up to 13 from Hack, and he's not even done yet. He's pushing to the front now with Marines, and there's only a cloakless Banshee here to defend.
Yep, and this Banshee is getting quite low. Hack not able to pick it off because of QXC's micro. Oh, there goes the Banshee. There is another Banshee heading around the back of the mineral line of Hack. The missile turret is going to shut that down pretty effectively. These Marines, Viking landing, more SCVs dying, and QXC is not looking good.
Oh, the Banshee's a little bit improperly microed there. Missile turret takes it out, and that's going to be the GG from QXC. Hack just came in there and just ran him over with that drop play, and you know, one of the big differences is a lot of times that first Widow Mine you get, it's sometimes a bit of a guessing game exactly where to put that Widow Mine, just because you don't know exactly what direction you're going to pop in from.
Yep, so that is game 1 of QXC versus Hack. We will be getting into game 2 shortly. QXC is facing elimination, so he's really going to have to step it up if he wants to, you know, remain relevant in this tournament.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, he had such a crazy long epic game there against Hero in that second game, and then coming into against Hack and just dying to a single medevac of units. I mean, it does happen in TVT, and QXC's got to be thinking, okay, maybe, you know, he just kind of read my build, countered my Banshee, And then, of course, I had nothing to defend his build. We'll come in this next game and try to make sure I'm a little bit more on top of knowing exactly what's going to happen.
And, you know, you got to wonder the kind of psychological effect that has on a player. You know, playing against Hero, playing that, you know, 45-minute stressful, intense game, and then right away having to go up against Hack, and then not only having to go up against Hack, but dropping the first game to him, you know, so quickly to such an aggressive play. So, very smart build strategy decision by Hack, you know, taking advantage of the potential weariness of QXC. But will he be able to do it again?
That is a good question. I mean, Hack is... He's one of those players who... it's weird. Like, he seems so good sometimes, but there's something that holds him back from you know, winning at that very, very top level. He did lose to Nano earlier, and even in yesterday's matches in the group stage, he actually was defeated by... he was knocked out by, it was San. Just dismantled him, right? So, you know, Hack is one of those guys who I think QXC definitely can beat. I mean, if he plays like he did against Hero, he has it in his potential. You just got to make sure that he doesn't end up in a situation like last game where he just has no response to what's happening very early on in the game.
Yep, so here we go, game number 2. Once again, spawning to the top left corner, we have the blue Terran representing Startail. It is Hack.
Of course, his opponent in the bottom right, representing Complexity, it is QXC. I do think Akalon Waste is probably a better map for QXC. You know, Hack is a guy who's very confident in the early games. We saw against SWS. SWS was trying to take him out with these early cheeses, and he just weren't working at all. But actually, look at this. Talking about confident in the late game, QXC. This is a very, very early SCV. He's going to proxy a barracks out. Blue wants to take Hack off guard, and this is usually a Reaper rush. When you see an SCV send out this early, a proxy barracks Reaper rush. And, you know, if you think about, it's actually weird to bring back, I keep talking about the Hero vs. QXC game too, but QXC had like a 5-kill Reaper to start against Hero in that game. So he definitely knows how to use his Reapers. He's definitely very good at it. And Hack's going gas first again, which... the way it plays out against the Reaper Rush is kind of crazy because the Fast Factory, if you can get a Hellion or Widowmine out, of course those are great. But, I mean, with the barracks right here, what are the odds Hack will even get a factory out before the Reapers have done, you know, insane amounts of damage?
Now, with the positioning of this barracks, do you think he's going to lift the barracks into the main base of Hack, or is he just going to use that little ledge?
I think he's going to use the ledge. I think the ledge makes more sense just because the amount of time it takes a Reaper to go, you know, to move down this way is probably roughly the same it would take just to send the barracks to the high ground. And if the barracks get spotted, if they have like a depot building there or something, then all of a sudden they could actually just like surround your barracks with SCVs and your Reaper would just die right when he comes out. So I think the safer play, it is a question is like, okay, he's really committing to this. You know, the question would be, why didn't maybe he get the barracks a little closer? Well, maybe an SCV would be more likely to see it. That could be part of the reason why I build a little bit further away from the ledge where he wants to chip up through. And here we are getting the fast factory. We're going to have a couple of Marines, but I guess the question is when will QXC strike? I think he's not even going to wait. I think the first Reaper's going to head straight in there. Against a fast factory build, you can't wait at all because as soon as those factories are out, they deal with Reapers quite well. Yeah,
and we do see the delayed SCV scout from Hack. He scouted quite a bit earlier in the previous game. This game, I guess, he feels more comfortable on this map. First Reaper going to be jumping in, scooting right up to the Marine. That Marine does not stand a chance, and he is down. Second Marine about to pop out in just a second. Reaper going to be forced back as it will soon be regenerated.
I like how he puts some damage on the Marine, though, only backing out the very last second. And then, of course, he'll be joined by 2 more Reapers soon enough. Now, there is a Hellion on the way, and Hellions are really good against Reapers, but if QXC can keep the Hellion count down low and just get overwhelming numbers of Reapers, he can take Hack out before too many Hellions come out. Hack's now identified that it's a very committed Reaper build when he got into the main base. It's not just like a single Reaper harass. And now he's coming again. There's 2 Reapers against 2 Marines and a Hellion. Of course, Reapers have to use their agility to avoid the Marines and punish the Hellion every time it gets too far away from those Marines.
Yeah, and QXC did go ahead and relocate his first barracks into the main base, and the second barracks is coming right now. Reaper's jumping up and down the ledge, trying to take these pot shots, but SCV being pulled off the line to repair the Hellion.
He's going to get a Marauder to help out against the Hellions.
That's awesome.
That's actually pretty cool here. Now, he does have to be careful because Reapers are still essential. Marauders will be taken off by Marines unless there's Reaper support. He's going for Marauder, Marine, Reaper here. This is a pretty crazy build. While the units are distracted, maybe he can pop up here and try to buy some time, but with 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers, they're kind of kept at bay there. He doesn't want to lose this Marine. Okay, he's got to keep this Marine alive until he can meet up with the rest of his buddies. Okay, Marauder, Marine coming in now. Reaper should be jumping up any second now.
SCV's being pulled off the line. Hack realizing he's in trouble, but medevac popping out going to make a huge difference as it is able to heal those Marines quite effectively. First barracks is burning. Will it be destroyed before another unit can pop out?
Gets one Marine out, but the Marauders taken out. The Reapers are kind of sleeping over there in the corner, and you know, Hack's held this with very little casualties. The medevac can just out heal anything. And look at this. I mean, Hack hasn't lost a single SCV. QXC's actually lost far more than Hack has. Yes, he has an expansion coming up behind this, but what can he do to stop the counter from Hack? I mean, there's medevacs, there's Hellions, there's Marines. This is going to be a very vicious counter, and QXC's production has been totally shut down.
Yeah, very, very effective play by Hack.
I mean, maybe, okay, this will help him buy some time against any frontal assault.
He needs, like, a siege tank, but even then,
I don't
the
think
medevac dropping on top of the siege tank is going to be an issue as well.
I think making the Hellions right now maybe is his best course of option. He just needs some units out right now.
Yeah, he just needs to do anything that attacks, he needs to be making.
No,
he doesn't have any more barracks.
You know, he doesn't have a single barracks. He does have a faster expansion, so if he can minimize damage economically, he will slowly get a little ahead. But minimizing damage is easier said than done when you got this guy.
Empty.
Okay, there come the Reapers. Those can help out a bit. And if he can, he's got to find a way to camp the ledge. Because if Hack can find a way to get his full army elevated to the main, that's pretty much a game ender. Oh, nice move. Oh, one Reaper jumps down. Okay, the Viking is actually instrumental in this defense. That's going to help out quite a bit. Poking away to medevac, and I think you would see maybe actually okay here.
Yeah, that depot is definitely going to be going down.
He's going to have to sacrifice that.
And another 2 SCVs, actually. We do have Cloak on the way for Hack. Does QXC have an engineering bay? I don't think he does.
I mean, he does have at least 2 orbitals.
He does have 2 orbitals.
And he's got
Widow Mines, potentially, too.
Yeah, so that could help him out quite a bit. Now, I mean, his main worry is his frontal attack, but at some point he has to realize there's nothing being reinforced here. Hack's obviously not committing to this type of attack. So there could be a follow-up. Hack, of course, double expanded behind us. Candace, oh, great! He had to see the Banshee. The question is, was he paying too much attention to his micro at the front to notice it? Of course, he was able to pick off the medevac. That's a nice pick-off.
Siege tank coming out for Hack as well. Hack doing brilliantly in terms of his macro and his teching introduction. Yeah, missile turrets coming down for QXC, so he should be safe, at least defensively, from the Banshee. He does have 3 Vikings out as well. QXC does look like he's posturing himself to break this contain, and with that number of Hellions, once he's out, you know, he'll be able to chase down any rogue units as well.
The Marines are definitely going to be forfeit, of course. Hack's going to retreat with his own Hellions, but QXC's broken to contain, and he still has 3 Vikings, and he knows about the Banshee, so he may pull these back to help defend against that. It's coming in here. Meanwhile, the Hellion counterattack. Where is that siege tank of Hack's? It's in the medevac. Yeah, so I don't think QXC can do too much with this Hellion counterattack. We'll see what he can get done. Another Mr. coming up here. Meanwhile, this Banshee able to get 0 kills so far, and a single scan can take that out pretty easily. There it goes.
Very nice defense on the part of QXC. Slowly working his way back into the game. We see he's only 5 supply behind. Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade being researched for QXC, as well as a few additional missile turrets too.
I love this missile turret in the front.
Yeah.
Because that front is where he wants to mobilize his forces, and having a Cloak Banshee continually harass you there can be quite frustrating. He does have air control of the Vikings.
Is this Banshee going to run right into the Vikings?
Oh, yeah. No, they just barely missed them.
That was close. But I mean, he does have the Cloak, but I guess QXC would be able to run it down and scan.
Yeah.
4 Vikings is certainly enough to take down
a it is going to... No, it's going to get away. Well, actually, is QXC going to spot it? Okay, he sees it. There it goes. And yeah, with 4 Vikings, like I said, there's no way that Banshee's getting away. You know, Hack does have that 3rd orbital. Like, QXC's still only on 2 base, so that's actually a really big consideration, especially going mech. It's going to be difficult to really get, you know, a high tank count, a high factor count really quickly off of just 2 base.
Yeah, but the one benefit of QXC going mech, if he can, stop producing so many Hellions for just a minute. The mech is typically a very gas-heavy composition, so hopefully he'll have the extra minerals to spend. We do see the Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade has completed as those blue jets of flame melt those Marines down. Hack holding that top Xel'Naga Watchtower is able to see the forces of QXC. We do have a Hellion drop coming along the back, about to drop into the main base of QXC. Does QXC have any units in position? He has a trap tank, which maybe is his saving grace.
Oh, the tank. Okay, there we go. Turns around, helps out. These are not blue flame Hellions from Hack, so actually, here's a nice patch of SCVs, but I don't think he's able to get too much damage done. It brings workers killed up to 7. So it's not too bad, but not a determining blow either way. Reaper taking the Watchtower. That's a great way to use those Reapers. I mean, they're not really too valuable in engagements at this point, so it's keeping that spotting available is great. Now, QXC's building a third base of his own. It is quite a bit behind the third base of Hack. Oh, this could be great for QXC. Gets a nice shot off there. Gets another shot off. Actually, not quite getting the lines.
Two Marauders doing a lot of damage to the Hellions. QXC falling back quite a bit. I would like to see QXC try to be more aggressive in terms of harassment. He realizes he's behind economically as he's back one base. But, Hack has such a strong defensive position with all these siege tanks. Engineering Bay and Armory going down as Hack will begin to power out those upgrades.
Yeah, as far as upgrades go, so far nobody has really started getting upgrades that actually, besides concussive shells and of course the combat shield. No one's getting the basic attacker. Oh, that was a nice pickup from QXC.
Oh, he loses half his Hellions.
Yeah, not exactly what he intended there. Hellions are fairly replaceable, but at this point with no third base, he doesn't have the minerals that he really wants to have to really crank out Hellions like a maniac. I love the use of the barracks here to help spot for drops. Hacker already showed that he is willing to use this lane here with the Hellion drop, and he's definitely not afraid to do so again.
Yeah, Sensa Tower going up at the third base of Hack. That is going to make harassing it much more difficult as any medevacs or any other flying units try to come in. Hack will be notified almost immediately. Vikings taking down the rocks as QXC prepares to secure his third base. Those Hellions are still roaming around the map trying to pick off any rogue units, but we do have this Marauder Marine tank push coming up from Hack, but does he have enough to break the defense?
QXC only has 2 tanks. He's not in siege mode. This could be disastrous. Hellions need to get in the front there. Now he's coming in. His own tanks are sieging up. Okay. Looks like QXC may try to stabilize, but he has no tanks of his own.
Yeah, this is not a good position for QXC. He was occupied attacking the rocks, a drop, trying to go down in the main base of Hack. QXC able to get those 4 Hellions out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, QXC's got all these siege tanks on his front door. Hellions coming in, able to pick off about 4 or 5 SCVs before the Marines and Marauders are able to shoot the medevac away.
Oh, there's no Marines in his bunker, though. The Hellion harass may not be done. There's only 1 Hellion left, but it does have blue flame now. Hack may try to push again. There is a point defense drone. There's a good number of Vikings, too, so I'm not sure if Hack can push up that ramp. This Hellion gets a couple more kills. Let's see how much damage. Okay, 14 kills from QXC on the workers. Pretty successful, but he's still so far down on supplies. Third base looks like it's going to be contained here. Oh, the Hellion's got to be careful. And SCVs as well. He has to keep those safe. I think he's just going to go ahead and take the third up here. Does not want to go toe-to-toe with that many siege tanks.
Yeah, very smart positioning by Hack, denying that third base. Going to take a while for that command center to fly across the map, and of course, once it does, Hack could kind of, relocate his army. QXC is still kind of trapped into his main base. If he tries to defend 2 locations at once, Hack has the army advantage, so he could try to press, 2 sides and really force QXC into a rough position. QXC with only 4 tanks does not really have the map control and dominance that he needs to make mech work.
Yeah, he really needs to keep this zone under his control so he can head towards the north. Vikings doing a good job picking off some medevacs there. Actually, another one being picked off. Only 4 siege tanks though, and Hack has way more siege tanks than QXC. In fact, it's 12 to 7 in total. Is he gonna try to? Looks like he might try to bust this. He's going straight up the front. There's not much a tank for QXC.
Yeah, Hellions trying their best, but their DPS is nowhere near high enough to go toe-to-toe with this bio. Siege tanks obliterating all of the units of QXC, and QXC forced to tap out.
Yeah, and that's a situation where it is very rough for QXC. I do think he fell quite a bit behind from that opening. I mean, he got 0 workers killed, lost his first 2 barracks. and then there was so much pressure. I was actually really impressed. He didn't die straight there, right when they lost the 2 barracks in that counterattack with the Marines and Hellions came. So it was great poise of QXC to stay in the game, but he was just too far behind. If the 3rd command center was so late, he never was able to even afford an armory, so he couldn't get Hellbats. And without Hellbats up there to tank or a very high tank count, Hack just kind of plowed right through him.
And, I really think that breaking moment, I mean, quite obviously, was when he was attacking those rocks to try to kill his 3rd. I mean, Hack just stemmed up and killed all his siege tanks, and then, how are you going to go mech without siege tanks? I mean, if you're going mech and your opponent's not going mech, but he has more siege tanks than you, you're not in a good position.
That's a bad sign. Maybe if you had 100 Hellbats or something.
Yeah.
But he didn't even have any. He just had some Hellions, which, of course, are pretty frail in those direct
he did have the blue flame upgrade. I would have liked to see some Hellbats, maybe even some Hellbat drops on the bio and the tanks.
The one drop he did, starting out with the Hellbats, obviously those have been great. The one Hellion drop he did was actually really successful. A lot of workers killed, but, I mean, it's a matter of your harass being successful, but then their army just totally smashing you. It's just too overwhelming. And Hack looking very solid so far. So Hack stays alive. QXC is eliminated. We'll see Hack going up against the loser of Nanawa and Hero tomorrow. But of course, up next on this stream, we're moving on to Group C. Our first match will be Dongray Gu against Curious. Coming up next.